Hey there guys, how's it going? And welcome to a FIFA video. But you know, the gameplay that you're gonna watch, if you, well, you can choose not to watch it, you just minimize the window or perhaps do something else. The gameplay's not that important, it's just something in the background. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about mainly was a FIFA 14 wish list. And you know, quite a few people have started doing some of these, so I thought I might as well chip in as well. Some of these are, my ideas. Some of them were ones that I've read online, like what other people suggested, and it's good point. Worthy of agreement. The gameplay is just something I'd got on Seasons about 2 months ago. It's not like an amazing game or whatever, but it's just something to watch. I do apologise for not having high quality gameplay there and ready for you, but anyway. Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about, the first point, I've got 9 of them, so you could be here for a while. I don't know what the length of this video could be. It could be like half an hour or something like that. Let's hope it's not. But anyway, yeah, the first idea I've come up with is dynamic weather. And I should just point out beforehand that these ideas are mainly aimed at career mode. Some of them are for general FIFA in altogether, but if you don't play too much career mode, this may not affect you too much, these ideas. But anyway, yeah, dynamic weather. If you don't know what that is, dynamic weather is basically the idea of it changes. It could be anything. Instead of the fixed options that you get on FIFA now, which is rainy, snowy, overcast, clear, stuff like that. Where it's just rainy or whatever for the whole game, the whole 90 minutes. Dynamic weather, I think, could be the idea of it changes, and also not necessarily just in weather. I mean, it could change just due to time. If you've got like a 5:15 kickoff or something like that in sort of autumn time, the match would start off relatively light. It'd have a bit of light, but at the end of the game it'd be dark. It would be like a sort of night match, so the floodlights would be on. And also that would be the same case in like a European fixture, like towards the end of the season, like if you're in the quarterfinal or whatever. Because it'll be approaching the summer again, 7:45 kickoff or whatever. It starts off relatively light with natural light. By the end of the game, the floodlights are on. It's basically a night game. I just think, it's quite a small thing, but I honestly think that would make the game so good. If they could just change the weather. I'm not saying drastically or anything like that. I'm not saying go to sunny, then go to snowy, then go to foggy, then go to rainy, and then go to I don't know, raining fire or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, not too drastic, but just subtle things like that I think could make the game amazing. But anyway, next point, specific training options. This is quite a popular one that quite a lot of people do agree with. So basically this one is the idea of in career mode, it's basically just the introduction of training, because that isn't in career mode at the minute. So it would be nice to add that in, and it would just give you a bit more of a realistic feel instead of just buying players and playing matches, because that's theoretically what it is at the minute. And basically, what I mean by specific training options is you could introduce it for someone who's an area of their game is lacking. Like if you've got a striker who's really good, he's fast, he's quite strong, he's good in the air, good hold up, but he can't score for his life. You could put specific training options for him, so he can improve his finishing, or could he just improve his shooting in general? And it would make him a better player. And because if that area of his game's lacking, he in real life they'd be trying to improve it instead of oh, but he's alright because he's getting faster, when that realistically doesn't actually matter too much. So yeah, I'd like to see the idea of training, specific training in, because it's what would happen in real life, because training does exist, and if someone's an area of someone's game is weak, then they would improve it. So why shouldn't that be the case on this game as well, to try and improve someone's finishing? But yeah, anyway, next point. Again, this is quite a it's a little option. And I think it's just one where you can have an option to do it. You don't have to, but more interaction with the media and with your players. Because I've played a little bit of Football Manager recently, and I've noticed this quite a bit. They have press conferences before a match and after a match, which does happen in real life. It is quite a prominent thing, so it is real. and also like with the idea of like if your player's unhappy at the club for whatever reason, you could have a conversation with them. You could be like, well, what's up? Well, I don't like the weather here, it's too rainy or something like that. And you could be like, it's okay, you know, you could just wear a waterproof coat and then your job's a good one. But yeah, like that sort of thing, you know, you could just talk to them, you know, see if you can understand and try and fix the problem instead of like just offering them more money, because that's what the game is at the minute. I want an increase in my wages. I feel that I'm doing too much for the team for the money I'm earning. I'm only on 70k a week and I want 120 because I'm greedy. But that's basically it. But yeah, and also with the media as well, I do like the idea that you could be a bit of a menace for the media, to be honest. You could be, you know, but you could have the options to like storm out or whatever, like be really abusive to one of the reporters back. But yeah, I'd just like to see that, because again, it would just make it a much more realistic experience and make, you know, the whole career mode, I think, a better thing. But again, like I said, just an option for it. I mean, you don't have to do it, because I know some people are content with just the idea of, you know, just playing matches, you know, having fun when it comes to transfers, buying players, selling players, or whatever. So again, you can. I wouldn't make it compulsory, but if you wanted to do it, you can do. Because to be honest, the talk to press thing at the minute is pretty simple, isn't it? Let's be honest. If you just click X, click your team, praise. That's because that's basically what everyone says. They don't say anything about. They'll maybe say something about a player, but whoever unnerves or praises the other team who they're playing. I mean, but anyway, we move on. The next thing, yeah, more tactics. Again, this comes into a more. This is quite a sort of fussy thing, based on like making it a more realistic experience. And when I say more tactics, I mean stuff like specifically for a match. You know, like man marking. Like get your best defender, or your best defender at heading, for example. Get him on the tall guy up front who heads everything in. Get him on that, because the game. Because basically, guys, on a Brighton career that I've got going at the minute, I've got a youth player. I'm not sure if I think he's a free agent actually that I signed up, but he is made up, and he's a centre back and he's 5'7", and I was playing Stoke in the league, and basically he was marking Peter Crouch all game. You know, it just doesn't work. You know, so I just like the option of getting a good defender, someone who is able to compete with someone so tall, and also with stuff like with pacey players as well. I mean, if you've got, like, I don't know, the likes of Lionel Messi, you know, and you're Arsenal, you don't want Per Mertesacker on him with his, like, 32 pace or whatever. You want someone who's relatively quick. So, you know, I'd get Squillaci on him personally. But you know, I just like the idea of, you know, that it could make it more specific. And also, there's also stuff like team weaknesses as well. You know, like, because if you're playing, let's just make an example here of Everton, for example. Let's say Everton are... I apologise for the coughing. You know, speaking for this period of time, it's quite annoying. But anyway, yeah, so, say for example you're playing Everton, or something like that. And just say, for example, Everton are quite weak at defending set pieces. I mean, I know they're not in real life, but just say they are. You know, you could exploit that. You know, you could get you could put some tall players in. I mean, I know you could do that anyway, but you know, you could really emphasise the idea of crosses, get a lot of crosses in the box, good set pieces or whatever. And I know some of you may be thinking, but you can just do that anyway. But the thing is, with the game, you won't get loads of people in the box. You'll maybe get like 2 strikers or whatever. I mean, like, for corners, get quite a few tall players up there in particular. Leave some of the small ones back, because for some reason, in the game by default in corners, you always get like your 5'3" midfielder. He's always like on the penalty spot trying to get his head on everything. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, I just like the idea of trying to make, you know, again, it's quite a fussy thing, it's quite a small thing, but I just like it to make the game more realistic and how you'd approach playing particular teams, because, you know, I mean, I think it's quite repetitive really when you can just play every team the same way. I mean, if you win, then it's fine, but you know, it can be a little bit boring. But anyway, and again, the next point I've got here is quite a small one, but I think it would really enhance the game, which is more appropriate celebrations. Now, what I mean by this is, like, let's say, for example, you're playing as a team who are in a relegation battle. You know, say you're 17th in the Premier League, one game left. If you win, you survive. If you draw, you go down. Something like that. And you're playing whoever, it doesn't matter. And it's 1-1. Let's just say it's 1-1. 3 minutes left, you know, and if you get a goal, your team and your fans will go mental. You know, the celebrations will be amazing. I apologise because I need to cough again. I don't know if you can tell. I do apologise for that. But yeah, your fans will go mental, like, and the players will go mental as well. Like, we've just scored a goal that's going to keep us up. You know, I'd like to see, because in FIFA at the minute, if you score a goal like that, it will just be the player who scored, like, running away or whatever. You'll maybe get a couple of teammates give him a hug or a high five, and in reality, that wouldn't be the case. You know, you'd have 8 or 9, maybe the whole team, like even the keeper running, sprinting down the pitch. You know, giving some love to the guy who's just scored the goal that's going to keep them up. And also it could imply to other things, like a similar sort of thing with winning the league or a cup final or something like that. You know, these are big moments, and you know, it'd just be nice if EA and FIFA like introduced the idea to make them, you know, recognise them as big moments, because you know they're season defining moments. And you know, I think it'd just be really good if they introduced that. I don't know, it's just maybe just me. But anyway. Yeah, another one. Again, I'll say this is just more to enhance the experience, and perhaps maybe a little bit more dramatic as well. And again, it's similar to the press one. I mean, you have an option to do it. I'm not saying you have to, because I know some people aren't too fussed about it. But give options to see a cup draw or something like that. I mean, like in the idea of maybe the FA Cup, Capital One Cup as well, but the Champions League as well. Like, you have the option to see like the groups being drawn out. And by the way, I don't mean like it would go to a cutscene that'd be some old man in Monaco or whatever, like unscrewing like a little white ball, like pulling out loose people and like Bato Borisov or whatever. But you know, I mean, if any of you played the 2010 World Cup game, you'll know before like you started a World Cup, it would do that thing with the draw, where it would just be like come up with maybe like Germany would come up in big letters, and then they pick a group for them or something like that. Just something like that. I mean, you know, because I think that would just make it more fun. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being a little bit fussy. But yeah, I just think that would be quite good. You know, to see, you know, right. Oh, there's my team. We've been drawn out. Who's going to be in our group? Oh, we've got Celtic or whatever. You know, I mean, just make it a bit more fun instead of just being hit with surprise and seeing like all 3 of your opponents, you know, at once. And you know, you're not even alerted to them in the game at the minute. They just show up on your calendar, like you're playing Stoke in the league, and then all of a sudden you've got Borussia Dortmund in the group stage, which like you didn't even know about it. So I'd just maybe like to see the idea of cup draws, etc. Just to enhance the game, really. Now the next point, again, I think this is quite a big feature. I think this could be quite good. Like, it's to try and initiate and introduce and include club records in career mode. I mean stuff like the furthest a team's gone, let's just say we're in the English League or whatever, like the furthest this team's gone in the FA Cup or Capital One Cup or the League, their highest finish, like the highest division, how many league titles they've won, you know, stuff like that. Because I think it would give you an incentive as well to try and do better. Hang on a minute. I apologise. My throat is all over the place. I do apologise. But yeah, because I mean, I'm probably the only person that does this. But I take career modes big time seriously. I mean, if I've seen a team that has won a league title, I'm talking about the Premier League or the First Division. If they've won that league once, I'm drawn off them. I'm like, I don't want to be them, because I want to like win this league for the first time for the club. You know, I want it to be like a real celebration. I mean, if they haven't won anything, then they are almost the perfect team for me. You know, but I mean, maybe that's just me. But I'd like to see that in the game as well, like, and maybe they can incorporate it into the commentary as well. So, for example, I don't know, Notts County, whatever. You got them into the Premier League. You're in a title race, you know. Notts County have never won the Premier League before, so this would be a big moment for them in their 148-year history or whatever it is. So yeah, I'd just like to see that introduced. You know, the idea of club records. You know, and it gives you a bit of motivation as well. You've been like, right, I want to do better than this. I want to, I want to achieve here. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm the only person that thinks that, but hopefully I'm not, and hopefully, like the 60 odd views or whatever this video will get. Hopefully, it'll get a little bit more. Maybe, we could actually get EA to do something about it. But anyway, it's not finished yet. There's 2 more, guys. And this one's a bit more. This one is certainly career mode based. It's the idea of making simulations a little bit more realistic. And I know, like, that is quite a difficult thing to do, but I'll tell you a story, guys. Was it earlier in this video that I said, or was it? It doesn't matter. I think it was the Wigan video yesterday, but I said I was doing a Brighton career, and I said that I've completed 3 seasons, I'm in my 4th, and at the end of my 3rd season, I was in the title race. This is my 2nd season in the Premier League, because obviously the first one was in the Championship, and yeah, I was in the title race. And Chelsea were my only rivals. I was 1 point behind Chelsea, and with I think 5 games to go, Chelsea lost consecutively to Southampton and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace was at home, Southampton I think was away, and Southampton and Crystal Palace were 20th and 19th. Now, I know there is a chance that could happen in real life. By the looks of it, I am going to need another video. It's not a problem. Now I know that could happen in real life, but the chances of that, really, 19th place and 20th place both beating 2nd place, I mean, I'm not sure if that's the case. I mean, I want them to be a little bit more realistic, and I want them to sort of try and base it on my matches as well. I mean, if I've won, that would give them, like, right, we need to win this, so they'll try a bit harder and they will get the win. Or if I lose, they could be a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I'll probably win anyway, but, they could mess up, and get away with it. So I'd like to see that. It could be a little bit more interesting in that regard. And the final point, guys, before I move on to a final thing that I want to talk about, final main point is, like, just increase the atmosphere, or like do something to the atmosphere to make it a little bit more a little bit more realistic, for one, but it would also just get you more involved in the game and, like, immerse you in it, because, like, the idea of chants, crowd involvement, etc. Like, if you're alright, let's again, I'll use another example. Say, for example, you're Millwall. You're playing as Millwall. You're in the Championship, you're not doing too bad, playoffs maybe, something like that. Again, I apologise for my throat. But anyway, and say, for example, you get Chelsea in the FA Cup 5th round, maybe even quarter-final, you got them at home. That crowd is going to be up for it. That. I mean, the crowd, in real life, the crowd will be right behind their team, really pushing them to try and do well. But in FIFA at the minute, it's just normal. I mean, yeah, they'll celebrate when they score and they won't when they concede. But, there's no, like, involvement. There's no, like, big chants, like, come on, Millwall, stuff like that, or whatever chants Millwall have. I do apologise if you're a Millwall fan, you were offended by that. But yeah, like, I'd like to see that. Like, try and really, make the crowd more appropriate to the opponents you're playing, and the same with a local derby. If you're playing as Liverpool, and it doesn't matter. Everton could have been relegated from the Premier League twice. Not twice, relegated twice in a row. So they're now in League One, for example. You've got them in the FA Cup or something like that. Anfield is still going to be really pushing that team forward to win. There's not going to be a relaxed atmosphere. Liverpool are going to be really behind it and try. So, I'd like to see a bit more involvement and a little bit more of an appropriate atmosphere in regards to the opponent. And just, I think, a better atmosphere in general, really. Maybe they could, I don't expect them to do this for every team, but, like, for the big teams, maybe, like, a chant that they're well known for, like the Liverpool, the You'll Never Walk Alone. You could maybe, like, try and bring that into the game a little bit more. Like, if the cop end, Liverpool score, they're winning 1-0 against, a rival like Man United or something like that. You want the cop busting out a You'll Never Walk Alone or something like that, so, Again, it's quite a small thing, but I think it would just improve the game. I mean, and also I should just say, like, if you guys have any ideas as well, put them in the comments, because obviously you guys will have different ideas to mine. You guys may disagree with me, or you may see that one of my ideas is like, no, really? Like, that's not that big a deal. So, just feel free to put your input in. Now, a final bit. We are 20 minutes into this video. If you're still here, well done. You've been able to hear me speak for 20 minutes and actually be able to tolerate it. But anyway, final bit for FIFA 14. I mean, I will go into this with a bit more detail, so, don't think of this as like the final thing. But career mode in FIFA 14, because I will do one. It's the only thing on my channel that's really quite successful and it's really permanently been quite good. But yeah, not... I'm all over the place. I'm saying things that I shouldn't. I was going to say Nottingham Forest. There you go. Career mode options. Yeah, career mode. I've got 6 options lined up. What I've decided I will do is I will do it like the Wigan videos. Like with the sort of edited highlights, showing a bit more instead of the live commentaries. Because a lot of people like my live commentaries, and I know that. I'll maybe throw them in for special games. In fact, I probably will actually. Like special games, like maybe we get a big game against a big rival, if we're chasing the championship title, so we're in the first season, we're playing them, I'll maybe bust out a live commentary for you guys. But anyway, yeah, I've got 6 options that we could maybe do. I mean, these may change over time, but though they are the 6 teams I'd prefer to see, I'd prefer to play as, sorry. Right, so the first one is Nottingham Forest. I've already said that. It's the channel favourite, I think. Plenty of Nottingham Forest fans on board here. So if you guys want to maybe see me play as them, but it won't be the live commentary, so it's lost that big element to it. Another one is Wigan. It's the classic. We've got that one going on right now. I'll be honest. I will be absolutely honest, guys. I'd prefer not to do those because it can get a little bit repetitive. I played Nottingham Forest as FIFA 11, FIFA 12 and a bit of FIFA 13 before it just died out. Wigan, FIFA 13, and would be FIFA 14 as well. I personally wouldn't take over those options, but it's not my call, it's you guys. We're a democratic channel. There's no sort of communist state here. So there you go. Third one, and I have a feeling that people might troll me into this. Newport County. Because Newport County, I believe, got promoted into the playoffs, into the Football League, or League 2, via the playoffs in the conference. I think they beat Wrexham. Although, if I'm incorrect and Wrexham won, I've made a big cock-up. I've just realised, Wrexham and Newport, that's an all-Wales final, isn't it? Good little fact there for you. But anyway, yeah, Newport County, the fresh team of League 2, the newest addition to the Football League. It'll be I think it's the first time they've ever been in there, so I'd imagine it is. So it'll be new to FIFA. So I have a feeling you guys might want to see me play as them, because it'd be a challenge, wouldn't it? I mean, I've got different I'd have different aims and different goals for each team. And Newport's is pretty straightforward, really. Try and get into the Premier League, try and do good, well, hopefully we'll try and win the Champions League and assert European dominance with all of them. But anyway, the fourth one is an interesting one, Everton, because Everton are that team that they're quite good, but they're not amazing, and they don't know how to win a trophy. So it would be quite interesting to play as them. Maybe see if I could, the goals with Everton would be, try and win trophies, try and establish ourselves, and also we could try and take over from Liverpool as the big team in Liverpool. So it could be all interesting things. There's quite a strong Everton following in the world. I mean, obviously I know that because if we were in Liverpool, obviously, but I mean, quite a lot of people where I live, quite a lot of people support Everton. So they're quite a well-liked team. And this one isn't actually a team, but I'm gonna absolutely slaughter the pronunciation of this. But I think it's how it's pronounced. It's the Eredivisie. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but it's the Dutch league. Let's just call it that, the Dutch league. And yeah, I haven't picked a team specifically from there because, I think it would be quite interesting to maybe add that. Add a foreign league to the game. Add a foreign league to this channel. It's just got the FA Cup, Capital One Cup, Premier League or Championship or whatever. I think it would be quite interesting to maybe expand ourselves a little bit, maybe. And, players in the Eredivisie. team. Again, I apologise if that is wrong. Hopefully it's right, because if it is right, I'll feel really proud. But yeah, we could just play as anyone. I'm not too fussed. If you guys want me to play as that, I'll go into that in a bit more detail. And the final one, Valencia. I only thought of this like maybe 30 seconds before I started this commentary. Valencia, because they don't win too much, but they are quite good. They're a little bit similar to Everton, but they're obviously they're Spanish. But you know, they have won stuff relatively recently, but they don't win too much. You know, they struggle a little bit in the Champions League as well. So you know, I think it could be quite good to be them. You know, maybe add something different. And again, I suppose it's just for the similar reasons that I picked Everton, really. I picked Valencia, but, you know, obviously they're Spanish as well, so it could be a little bit more interesting. But anyway, I'm going to draw this video to a close, guys. 26 minutes we're going to be roughly around. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it if you did like it. Also, if you want to favourite it, if you consider it one of your favourite videos on YouTube that you've ever watched, feel free to favourite it as well. Do people still ask for favourites? Like, oh, favourite the video. Because I remember like people used to, like, oh, be sure to like and favourite. But yeah, if you do, feel free. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already and you want to, I mean, I'm not going to force you to, but if you want to, feel free. You know, subscribe button is below the video, or if you go onto my channel, it's at the top. You guys know that, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I hope you maybe agree with some of the things that I've put, and also put any ideas that you have or what you'd like to see as well. I mean, I was thinking stuff like kit customization as well, but there are difficulties with that due to the kits being licensed. So I do understand how that is a bit difficult. Even though it would be really good to see it. But anyway, yeah, guys, I'm going to draw it to a video here. Draw it to a video here. Draw it to a close here. Thank you guys for watching, and also like comment on what team you'd maybe want me to take up in FIFA 14. I mean, I know it's early days, and I know we will go into it in a bit more detail, just so I have a little bit of an idea of where I should head towards. But thank you for watching, guys. 27 minutes. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys around.